Hello everyone, and welcome to week 3 of our pause work style replay classes. Today we are focusing on our lower body strength and core. We're going to get you started with a nice warm-up, which, as you know, we are going to do together, and then I'm going to be sending you off to complete your lower body strength and our core work that we have on the menu for today. First off, let's talk about the equipment that you are going to need, including your exercise mat, your chair, training bench, ottoman, something along those lines that's going to help us elevate ourselves from the floor. Of course, I have some options for those of us who don't have that as well. 8-pound dumbbells are tucked underneath the chair, as well as our loop bands. The last thing that you will need is your interval timer, which hopefully you have downloaded and set up by now. Okay, so let's get you started with this warm-up, which starts the best way possible. Down on the floor, laying down on our back. I'm talking all the way down, all the way out, palms open on the floor. We're going to lift up one leg, grab that knee with opposite hand, take a big breath in, and then exhale and pull that leg all the way down, as close to the floor as we can. Bring it back up, not spending any time over there as much as we want to. And then switch sides, same thing, following that inhale, exhale cycle, exhaling as we bring the leg down, inhaling as we bring it back up. We're going to do 3 of these to each side. Hopefully, as we go through our 3 of these rotations, which are going to help us loosen up our hips, our low back, our mid back, as well as our chest and shoulders from, maybe not doing too much of this kind of stuff over the past few days. Hopefully, we can get a little bit closer to the floor on this last one, and exhaling into it. We'll go through this last side, evening it out. Breathing out. This side feels a lot tighter than the other. You might find the same thing, and that's okay. So we're going to finish up those, and then going to roll up here and get ourselves into our 90s, which we do on a weekly basis. So hopefully by now you are feeling a little bit more comfortable in this position, although you know that you can always lean back, have your hands behind you if you need to. We're trying to create these 2 90-degree angles in our knees. We want to fix our heels to the floor, and we're going to flip our legs over, right side and left side, getting our internal and external rotations of the hips going to help us get them nice and warmed up. Again, this should not be painful. We're doing 10 total, 5 to each side. And again, if you're feeling a little on the tight side like me, we can lean back and have our hands on the floor like so. Or if you're feeling yourself a little bit more limber, we can have our arms in front of us in this tabletop position like this. And we'll finish up with our last 4 here. Again, trying to touch that inside of the knee down to the floor each rep. Outside of the knee down as much as we can. And we'll get this last one. And then we are standing back up to the top. And we are going to get ourselves into a squat stance. So we want our feet a little bit wider than our hips, slight angle out on the toes. Arms are down by our sides. We're going to sit down and send our arms up, ending up in this overhead squat position. As we do this, we're looking for, again, that 90 degrees at the knees, at the hips, trying to get our butts down and ending up with our arms above our heads so that we don't see our hands. We're doing 10 of these total. We have about 6 more to go. And that's the nice thing about these little together warm-ups is that you don't necessarily need to count. You can just follow along. Unless you want to, that's okay too. We have 3 more here. Again, inhaling on the way down. Exhaling as we stand up and out of it. 2 more. And we'll get this last one. And then we're going to swing out our legs. So we want to find ourselves something to hold on to. I'm going to use this wall right here. Swinging that leg forward and backward. Trying to, once again, get the front and back of the hip warmed up is the goal of these ones. We're doing 10 times. There and back is our count of 1. 10 times of this leg swing. Trying to stand up straight. Keep that standing leg straight but soft. We don't want to be completely locked out in that leg. And then this one, we might find a little bit of bend happens in the knee, and that's okay. But we should feel, again, the back of the leg, front of the hip opening up as we go through these. Same side. We're going to turn now, face the wall, and go side to side. Now we're feeling that same or similar stretch down the inside and outside of the leg. So we'll go through our same 10. Breathing through these. Once again, trying to stand tall. Once we finish up this side, we have 2 more. We are, of course, going to do the same thing on the other side. So now we'll switch legs, And I'm holding on over here, getting the clump of dog hair, cat hair, someone's hair off the foot 10 times there and back. Again, working with whatever range we have. If you are naturally, again, more limber, more mobile, you might be able to kick that leg up a bit higher, a bit further back. But once again, as always in our warm-ups, we are not forcing anything. We're just kind of working with whatever range we have this time in our lives, this hour of the day. So that's our 10. And now we will switch side to side. Again, getting that adductor, the inner thigh, and outside of the leg, warmed up, moving, loosened up through these lateral leg swings. So we'll finish up these ones, 3 more. Last one. And the next one is going to be the side lunge. So this one is, once again, to help us loosen up the inside of the hips, inside of the legs. We're going to come over to one side of our mat, step out into the side lunge, sending our arms in front of us, shift back over to that side we started on, and then push ourselves up to the top. That's 1. We're doing 10 of these total. As we step out to the side, we're trying to stick the butt out. You guys always hear me asking you to do that. And that is to help promote that hip hinge, keeping that knee back so that we're not driving the knee forward, which is going to, number 1, keep our knee in a much safer and stronger position. And number 2, again, get that nice stretch down the inner thigh on both sides as we shift. So we'll go through these ones, 3 more. And my arms are coming in front of me. I'm not worried too much specifically about what's happening with them, but the further they are in front of you, the easier it is to stick that butt out. We have 1 more to go. Last one. And now we are going to move on to the activation part, which is going to be our hip loaded step through. So we want to start off standing up nice and tall, with a nice perfect posture, as perfect as can be. Soft knees, and then we're going to shift the weight onto one leg. So I'm going to start off on my left, hinge my hips back, and send that leg or other foot back behind me. Wherever it ends up, it ends up. We're going to align those opposite arm, opposite leg, and then pull those hips forward and through. And again, that opposite foot, the non-standing one, we're just going to let it sort of fall in front of that standing leg, not stepping in a certain direction, working more about the hips. So we're hinging the hips back and then hinging them forward. 15 is the count to be on these ones. Again, this one's all about that hip and glute activation. We should feel that butt cheek burning, warming up, starting to get some fire brewing in it as we go through our 15. So we'll breathe through these ones. Again, exhaling as we pull forward, inhaling as we hinge back. We have 3 more to go on this side. And then again, of course, we have to switch and do the other side. Last one, hinging. And we will switch, again, shifting the weight, a little bit of balance, soft knee. We'll hinge those hips back, align those opposite hands, opposite feet, and work with, again, 15 reps of this hip loaded step through. So we're looking for that same or similar feeling, although we know that usually one side we might feel a little bit more, a little bit less than the other, and that's okay. But we should feel that tight tension feeling in the back of the hips as we work through our 15 on this side. If you're not feeling it, then once again, we're going to think about pushing the hips back a little bit more so that you can create that feeling. 4 more. And this is going to conclude our warm-up. Okay, so we'll get this last one in. Woohoo! Feeling it, shaking it out. Okay, so we're going to get you started on our first part of our lower body strength. Today, we're going right on to a timer. We're going to be setting this timer for 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Starting off with a squat, a front-loaded squat to be exact. So I will be using my 8-pound dumbbells, holding them in that front-loaded position right up here like this. And if you have heavy dumbbells or an arrangement of them, you can just use one. But I just have these 2 nice little 8-pounders. So I'm going to use both of them here. Squat stance, if you'd like, you can practice a few warm-up reps before we actually are set on that timer, which is going to be set for 60 seconds. So you will be squatting with these weights in front of you, but not resting on your chest or shoulders, just held right, hovering in front of you for 1 minute. Once we finish a minute of these squats, You have 30 seconds to put your weights down, to grab onto your loop bands, if you have them, and loop up around your heels like this. The following 60 seconds, after that 30 seconds of rest that is going to be on our banded side steps. So for these ones, we want soft knees, hinging back in that very similar position that we had in that hip floated step through. And then we'll be stepping wider shoulder width, laterally across there and back across our mat for 60 seconds. 30 seconds of rest, once again, is following that banded side step for you to unband, get back underneath your weights, and then we will be going through 3 rounds total of these 2 movements. So we have our front loaded squat for a minute, 30 seconds of rest, side steps for a minute, 30 seconds of rest. That would be 1 set. You are going to complete 3 rounds total. So that's our first superset. Right off the bat, if you are looking to increase the intensity, make these squats harder, what you're going to do is slow the heck down. We're going to take more time in our eccentric and or in our pause position, or both if you'd like, and that is going to make that 60 seconds, obviously it's going to be the same amount of time, but it's going to make everything feel a lot more challenging, which is an option. So you can play around with it. You have 3 opportunities. Press pause, go get that done, and I will see you back here for part 2 of our strength. Okay, now you're definitely warm. So we are back here for part 2 of the strength work, which is going to start off with our split squats. So our chair is going to come into play. We have a paused split squat that we are going to be working on, spending a solid 4 seconds at the bottom of every single one of our reps, in which you will be doing 10 on each side. So in terms of weight, I would like you to add resistance to this, whether it's holding dumbbells down by your sides, looping a band underneath your foot if you don't have dumbbells, something like this. And again, we want ideally to have something to elevate our back foot for the split squat. Obviously, if you don't have anything along these lines, you can always have your foot on the floor like this, but that elevation is quite key in helping us target more the backside, the butte, the glutes. We'll be going 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 second up. So that's our tempo. 1, 2 second descent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 second up. That would be 2 reps. And you are doing 10 of these on each side. So with that 4 seconds at the bottom, oh yes, if you are sort of a quick counter, what you can do is have a running clock in front of you, again, on your phone, your computer, iPad, whatever you're watching this on, and you can actually sort of watch the clock for those 4 seconds, or you can just find a rhythm. I also like to follow an inhale-exhale cycle, so full exhale, inhale, exhale out of the bottom, and that usually will help us if you're sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4 counter over that 4 seconds that I just counted out right there. So that's our first movement. Second movement is going to be a paused hip thrust. Now you have the option to add weight to your hips. Ideally, once again, we would like to elevate ourselves, putting our upper back on this chair or our bench, like this. If we would like to add weight to the hips, dumbbells can go here, fixing them with your hands so that they don't fall off, of course. Lowering down, right before those knees fall back, we push back up, holding for 1, 2 seconds at the top. Normal tempo on the way up, on the way down, which would be our 2 seconds. But we want a solid 1, 2 count where we're really contracting our glutes and squeezing our butt at the top here. And you will be doing 15 reps total. So we have 15 reps of the hip thrusts, 10 on each side of those pause split squats, plus some rest. We have about 30 to 45 seconds of rest between our rounds. And you, my friends, have 4 sets of this stuff. So that's what's up for our second part. You know what to do. Press pause, go get it done, and I will see you back here for the last part of our lower body strength. All right. Okay, welcome back, and here I still am on the floor, because this is where our final part is going to start, back in a hip thrust position, working with a single leg hip thrust on each side. We're once again going to be elevating our upper back, working with 15 reps. Now doing those 15 reps on one leg only, No pause, no extra time involved. We're just working up and down. Once again, you have the option to potentially add some weight to your hips, but most of us are probably going to find this pretty challenging without any weight. We want to make sure that we're doing a bit of a crunch so that we have that nice core activation, and we're looking down towards our knees for the whole entire set. 15 reps all the way up to the top is very important, so you're not missing out on any of that range of motion. 15, 15, and then we stand up, and we're working with the eccentric, which is that lowering phase. We're going to have a focus on the lowering phase in our straight leg deadlifts. So I'll be working with my dumbbells. We have 10 reps total. Hip width apart in the feet. Feet are forward, so there's no angle in the toes. Soft knees. 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then a nice 1 to 2 seconds on the way up. We're looking for a powerful, explosive up phase and a nice controlled, slow down phase. So 4 seconds down, and then 1, maybe 2 seconds on the way up. That is going to be you, again, for 10 reps total. Once again, we are going to complete 4 rounds of this very fun stuff. And that's going to be it for our lower body strength. We're not taking any rest in between these two. So we're going hip thrusts, deadlifts, back to back, no rest in between, just the time it takes you to get up and off your butt and into the deadlifts and back down there, of course. So go get that done, and then I will see you back here for our core work, which is the last part of the work for today's session. All right, go get it done. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are here for our last and final part, which is our core work, which is all down on the floor. We don't need any equipment today. We're going 100% body weight. All we need is our timer, which is going to be set for 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So we're working for 40 seconds, resting for 20 seconds. We have 2 movements only that we're going to be following through. First one's a side plank variation. So you'll need some room on the floor. Just gonna move this chair out of the way, move my dumbbells out of the way, bands, because we don't need them. We just need, again, our mat, our bodies, and our interval timer. Side planks, 40 seconds. Ideally, we want stacked feet, making sure our shoulder is stacked over top of our elbow. Entire forearm is on the floor. Arm in the air. We're going to lift up and hold here. Holding. 40 seconds right here. Once that 40 seconds is up, again, ideally set on that timer, we're going to come down, flip over to the other side. We have 20 seconds of rest before we need to get up and start that other side, which is, again, 40 seconds long. So left side, right side, whatever one you want to start with. Switch, do the other side. And then we have part 2, which is going to be our V-ups. So these are the ones where we sit up, walk our hips back, so we're on those sit bones. And we're going to lean back, lift up our legs, open up our palms, lower until we're challenged, and then pull ourselves up to the top. The lower we go here, the harder. We can even have a bit of support with our hands on the floor if we need to. That is part 2, and that is, again, 40 seconds long. 3 rounds, everyone, and then you will be done the work, okay? So that is the final part of the work. We do have one little stretching aspect at the end here, so don't run away once you're finished the core. Come on back and press play again once on this video, one last time, and then we will go through 2 really solid stretches that you will want to do after today's work, okay? Hit pause, go get it done. I'll see you back here for the stretch. All right. Hello again. We are back for our final part here, which is the stretching, which is going to start off with our hip flexors. We want to hold on to something, working with this half kneeling hip flexor stretch. If you remember over the past couple weeks, 30 to 60 seconds is the time to be. If you have time, hold it for 60. If you're short on time, do at least 30 seconds. This hip flexor stretch is going to help you open up the hips in the front, as well as keep any additional tension from brewing in your lower back. Both very good things for all that stuff we did. So 30 to 60 on this side. Other side as well, same thing. If you're short on time, just do 1 set. If you can make yourself some additional time right now, then you can complete 2 to 3 sets of this one, as well as our second one, which is for the glutes, the booty, because we did all that glute work. So this one, we're laying on our back, heel on the knee, pulling in that knee, breathing into the stretch. Same deal with the time, with the sets. Of course, we have to do both sides, and then you are free to go. Of course, if there's any other stretches that you would like to complete, feel free to throw them in. But you guys are down with me on this fun day one of our week 3. Hopefully you feel good. Always, as per usual, I like to know how you feel, so drop a comment below, send me a message, let me know how you feel, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for our upper body. Okay, see you guys next time.